Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So I'm going to do this very short live stream because there's an issue that I want to talk about. And that's this issue of Michael B. Jordan, um, Tariq Nasheed, and Nicki Minaj. You know, Michael B. Jordan has been accused of cultural appropriation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this article with you. I'm going to read some excerpts. And then also I'm going to read some excerpts from a post that Tariq Nasheed did. And then I'm going to provide my commentary. And hopefully I'll be able to get to one other live stream. I'm really in a rush because I have to get to work soon. So bear with me. So I'm going to share this first article. Just bear with me a second. This article is from Insider, and it talked about how Michael B. Jordan apologized and he agreed to rename his rum brand after being accused of cultural appropriation. And apparently he created this rum brand using a popular term in Caribbean culture. And the thing is, he faced a lot of criticism from the Caribbean community, including from Nicki Minaj and others who were from Trinidad and Tobago. Because what has happened is he filed a trademark for the name of this brand, you know, this rum, using a name that's popular in Trinidadian culture. And the reason why it became an issue is because in his filings, and I'm going to get to that first, in his filings for the trademark, he said that the name of this brand had no meaning in a foreign language, even though this brand does have a meaning in a foreign language, even though it's something that's popular in the Caribbean. You know, he filed this trademark saying that it had no meaning in a foreign language. And the thing is, like, people raised controversy over the name. They said, well, that's actually a French name and all that kind of stuff. It's not even, it doesn't even have anything to do with Caribbean culture. But according to many people, hopefully you can hear me because I'm having an issue with my internet. But apparently in Caribbean culture or Caribbean culture, this term is very popular. And, you know, for him to file this trademark and indicated that it doesn't have any cultural meaning or anything like that, that was just false. And so a lot of people have criticized him for this. And as a result of coming under pressure, you know, after being, you know, criticized by people like Nicki Minaj, he decided to issue this apology. And he said that, I just want to say on behalf of myself and my partners, our intention was never to offend or hurt a culture and hope to celebrate and shine a positive light on. You know, so he's saying that we didn't want to offend a culture. We wanted to shine a positive light on this particular culture. And, you know, he said over the last few days, he's been doing a lot of listening and learning and engaging in countless community conversations. And he says, we hear you, I hear you, and I want to be clear that we are in the process of renaming. We sincerely apologize and look forward to introducing a brand we can all be proud of. So that was his response to the controversy, and I understand it, and I'll get into that in a second. But also Tariq Nasheed, you know, issued a statement about this particular issue. He posted this. I think this is on, it's probably on, let's see. Yeah, this is on Twitter. So he said Nicki Minaj criticized a foundational Black American, Michael B. Jordan, of culturally appropriating Trinidadian culture because of the name of his rum line. And then, you know, he went on to say that Nicki Minaj appropriated the entire persona of a foundational Black American, Little Kim. And he shows this picture where she's basically using the image that Little Kim came up with, you know, years ago. And she basically launched her career, you know, basically appropriating or using, you know, a lot of the same things that that Little Kim did. Like Little Kim was one of the first female rap artists that really sexualized hip hop and presented like this sexy image of a black woman in hip hop. And, basically she was like one of the early people that introduced thought culture to hip hop and stuff. Um, and, Nicki Minaj was obviously inspired by that. So basically, Tariq Nasheed is using this to basically throw things back at Nicki Minaj and say, well, how are you accusing this guy of appropriating the culture when you're doing the same thing? And the only difference here, like, in looking at this, first of all, I think that black people shouldn't be fighting each other and tearing each other down. Black people, African people worldwide need to unite instead of fighting each other and criticizing each other and hating on each other, because all that does is play into the divide and conquer strategy of our enemies. And unfortunately, you had these people like this Tariq Nasheed, who professed to be about all pro-blackness and, promoting black people. And he used to be about promoting melanated people and all that kind of stuff. But here he is promoting the division among black people, promoting the division among so-called melanated people. And, as far as this cultural appropriation thing, it's one thing, I think that these two things are apples and oranges. Like this, they actually filed for a trademark and they actually created documents, and I'm talking about Michael B. Jordan and his people created documents saying that this name had no meaning in any other culture and basically false representing that this wasn't tied to any kind of culture or it didn't have any meaning before, when in fact it did. It was something that was used within a culture. So that's the issue. This whole thing about hip hop, one thing that we have to point out, of course, hip hop is a culture that comes primarily from African Americans here, people in America, but it also was heavily influenced by people from the Caribbean. A lot of the prominent rap artists are people from the Caribbean. A lot of the pioneers of hip hop are people from the Caribbean, like Kool Herc, like one of the first DJs in hip hop, like one of the people credited for like creating a lot of the DJing that you see in hip hop and stuff like that. So it's like, so we share cultures, we share a lot in culture and stuff like that. And there's a lot of commonality among African people worldwide. So instead of fighting about culture, we need to unite around culture. And I think that this whole thing could have been avoided if, if Michael B. Jordan had been in touch with people from Trinidad or from other Caribbean countries and stuff like that prior to, naming this particular brand and all that kind of stuff and filing this paperwork. And that's one of the reasons why it's important to have, a good team, a diverse team that can provide this kind of information so that you can be aware of these type of culturally sensitive issues. I mean, just imagine somebody from the Caribbean filing a trademark using a name that's very popular in African American culture and then saying, well, no, it's not connected to any culture. It doesn't have any cultural meaning or anything like that. We would take issue with that. So I understand where they're coming from. And, I'm glad that this brother is, taking steps to rename this particular rum brand and all that kind of stuff and move ahead. And hopefully this is an opportunity to build bridges among black people worldwide instead of tearing down black people. Because you got a lot of people like this Tariq Nasheed and some of these people that promote this ADOS mentality or philosophy that thrive on, xenophobia and anti-immigrant hatred. And this is just another example of this guy exploiting an issue to fuel anti-immigrant sentiment, anti-Trinidadian or anti-Caribbean sentiment. And it's just despicable, especially somebody who professes to be pro-black. So yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts about this. Hopefully later I will be able to do some more live streams. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about, and I'm sorry that this is rushed. I had to get to work Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to my man Bonafide 1970. Shout out to the real Aaron Collins. And shout out to everybody who tunes in and watches later. Again, I want to encourage you all to subscribe to my channel, to like this video, to share my videos, and to hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content on here. And lastly, I want to encourage you all to follow me on Twitter at NewPosBlog. Also, I want to encourage those of you who live in Baltimore and people who live in the District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia area, what we call the DMV. I want to encourage you to come to my art show and reception. It will be on October 9th at 3 p.m. It will be at the mansion at the National Great Blacks in Wax Museum here in Baltimore. I will post a link to the invite that's on Facebook. I encourage you all to RSVP today and come out today. And I want to shout out to Brother Bonafide 1970 because this brother came all the way from New Jersey for my first art show. And I want to encourage people to come to this one. This art show is going to be called Revolution on Canvas. It will be focused on the issue of police brutality. I will be using my art as a form of protest, and I hope that you all can support this effort. Again, I will post the link to the invite in the comment section and in the description to this video. So please support that. Peace and blessings, everyone. And I probably will be back either later on tonight or maybe during my lunch break with a couple of other videos. There's a couple of things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about Tamir Rice's mother calling out Sean King. Also, I want to talk about this track star who is the fastest woman in the world right now and who has come under fire by people, you know, criticizing her hairstyle and all that kind of stuff. You know, it deals with this whole gender dynamic, you know, this gender war nonsense that's going on in our community. So I plan to talk about that as well. So hopefully I'll be able to do that tonight. Peace and blessings, everyone. Have a great day.